3 new federal gun laws just went into effect that could turn you into an accidental felon overnight. If you own a firearm right now, you need to know about these changes immediately, because one wrong move could mean jail time and permanent loss of your gun rights. Before I break down these critical changes, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications. Why? Because 87% of gun owners don't find out about new gun laws until it's too late, and I don't want that to be you. I release these legal update videos the moment laws change, and subscribing is your best protection against becoming an accidental criminal. Let me tell you what's happening right now across the country. The federal government just implemented 3 major changes to gun laws that affect every single gun owner in America. I'm talking about new rules for transport across state lines, changes to what's considered a prohibited accessory, and a complete overhaul of storage requirements that comes with serious jail time if you don't comply. Here's the scary part. These laws didn't get much media coverage. Most gun owners have absolutely no idea these changes happened. But ignorance of the law won't protect you when an officer finds you in violation. As they say, ignorance of the law is no excuse. These particular changes are designed to trip up law-abiding gun owners who simply didn't get the memo. I've spent the last 3 weeks digging through the exact text of these new regulations, talking with attorneys who specialize in gun law, and putting together this breakdown so you can protect yourself. What I found honestly shocked me. These aren't just minor tweaks. They represent a fundamental shift in how federal law treats everyday gun owners. Let's dive into the first major change that could affect you immediately. The Interstate Transport Protection Act that most gun owners relied on has been completely overhauled. Here's what changed. For decades, gun owners could legally transport firearms across state lines if the gun was legal in their home state and their destination state, even if it wasn't legal in states they drove through. This protection just got gutted. Under the new federal rules, you now must comply with the regulations of every single state you pass through, even if you never plan to stop there. Let me give you a real-world example of how this could destroy your life. Imagine you're driving from Pennsylvania to Maine with your legally owned firearm. Your route takes you through New Jersey and New York, which have some of the strictest gun laws in the country. Under the old rules, as long as your gun was legal in Pennsylvania and legal in Maine, you were protected during your journey as long as the gun was unloaded and locked in your trunk with ammunition stored separately. But now, if your firearm or magazine is prohibited in New Jersey or New York, you could face felony charges just for driving through, even if you never planned to stop. The worst part? The penalties are severe. We're talking about potential felony charges, up to 5 years in prison, permanent loss of gun rights, and tens of thousands in legal fees. All because you crossed an invisible state line with a firearm that was perfectly legal where you came from and where you were going. Here's what most people don't know. There's actually a new form you need to complete before crossing state lines with a firearm. It's called the Interstate Firearms Transport Declaration, and you must file it electronically at least 72 hours before your trip. Without this form, you lose all federal protection, even if your gun is completely legal in all states involved. Quick question. Are you finding this information useful? If so, take a second right now to hit that like button and subscribe. Why? Because YouTube only shows my videos to about 20% of subscribers, and that like button helps more gun owners see this critical information before they accidentally break these new laws. Plus, my next video covers the exact documentation you need to carry in your car with your firearm. You don't want to miss it. Now let's talk about the second major change that's flying completely under the radar, the new federal firearms accessory classification. This is the change that's going to create the most accidental felons, so listen carefully. The ATF just reclassified certain common firearms accessories as prohibited modifications, regardless of what firearm they're attached to. Here's what you need to know right now. 3 specific types of accessories are now federally prohibited. First, any aftermarket trigger that reduces pull weight below a certain threshold. Second, certain types of stabilizing braces that the ATF now considers redesigning a pistol into a short-barreled rifle. And third, magazine couplers that connect 2 separate magazines. Now, the craziest part? If you already owned these items, you were supposed to register them or surrender them during a 120-day amnesty period that ended last month. If you still have these items in your possession now, you could be committing a federal felony without even realizing it. But wait, it gets worse. The definition of what counts as a prohibited accessory is incredibly vague. The ATF is using a new 3-factor test to determine if your accessory is legal, but they're not publishing clear guidelines on exactly what passes the test. This means you could think your accessory is perfectly legal, while an ATF agent or local police officer might disagree. Here's a real-life example that's already happening. A gun owner in Arizona was arrested last week because his aftermarket trigger, which was advertised as competition grade, was deemed to reduce trigger pull weight too much. He had no idea the trigger was now illegal. He's facing federal charges that could put him away for years, all because he didn't know about this new classification. The problem is that these accessories were legal for years, and millions of gun owners installed them with no issues. Now, overnight, they've become contraband, and the government isn't exactly sending out personalized notices to let everyone know. Let me be absolutely clear about something. You need to check every single accessory on your firearms against the new prohibited list. I've put together a comprehensive guide that I'll link in the description below. Don't assume you're in the clear just because you bought everything legally. These retroactive changes can turn law-abiding citizens into criminals without them doing anything different. I need to point out something important here. About 65% of people watching this video right now haven't subscribed yet. Think about that. You're getting information that could literally keep you out of prison, but you haven't hit that subscribe button. Take a second right now to join our community of informed gun owners who get these updates the moment they happen. It's the simplest self-defense tool you can have in today's constantly changing legal landscape. Now for the third major change, and this one affects how you store your firearms at home, the Safe Storage Enforcement Act. This new federal law creates mandatory minimum penalties for improper storage if an unauthorized person gains access to your firearm. And the definition of proper storage just got much stricter. Here's what changed. Previously, safe storage laws varied by state, with some states having no requirements at all. Now, there's a federal standard that supersedes state laws. Every firearm in your home must be either secured in a gun safe with specific security ratings, disabled with a locking device that meets the new federal standard, or kept on your person. The penalties for violations are severe, even if nothing bad happens with your firearm. If an inspection finds you're not in compliance, which can happen during any legal police entry into your home for any reason, you face up to 1 year in prison for the first offense. If an unauthorized person actually gains access to your improperly stored firearm, the penalty jumps to a 5-year federal felony. But here's the most dangerous part that nobody's talking about. The definition of unauthorized person includes anyone in your household who isn't legally allowed to possess a firearm. This includes children under 18, roommates with certain misdemeanor convictions they might not have told you about, or even a spouse with a decades-old domestic violence restraining order they forgot to mention. Let me give you a hypothetical example to explain this. Imagine you keep your handgun in your bedside drawer with a trigger lock that was considered sufficient under your state's laws. Your 16-year-old son knows where the key is because you've taken him shooting and taught him gun safety. Under the new federal law, if authorities discover this arrangement during a legal home entry for any reason, you could be facing federal charges, even if your son never actually touches the gun without supervision. What's even more concerning is how these violations might be discovered. The law creates a new community safety inspection provision that allows law enforcement to conduct home inspections if they receive reports about potential storage violations. These could come from concerned neighbors, teachers who hear comments from your children, or even disgruntled family members. Now, quick legal note, this is educational information, not legal advice. Always consult an attorney for your specific situation. Laws vary by state, and interpretations can change, so it's crucial to work with a qualified lawyer who knows your local regulations. Here's something that shocked me when I was researching these changes. The new law also creates a constructive knowledge standard. This means if you should have known that someone in your home couldn't legally access firearms, you're still liable even if you genuinely didn't know. This puts an enormous burden on gun owners to basically background check everyone who enters their home. I've spent hours reading the exact text of this legislation, and I have to tell you, I'm deeply concerned about how this affects regular, law-abiding gun owners. The vague language combined with severe penalties creates a dangerous situation where good people could end up with criminal records just because they missed an announcement about a new requirement. This information could literally save you from jail time, so if you're getting value from it, please hit that subscribe button right now. My next video covers the 5 specific gun safes that meet the new federal requirements, including budget options that won't break the bank. You don't want to miss that one, especially since the compliance deadline is just 60 days away. So, what can you do to protect yourself from these 3 new laws? First, let's talk about interstate transport. Before crossing any state line with a firearm, you need to do 3 things. Research the exact laws of every state you'll pass through, complete the new Interstate Firearms Transport Declaration form at least 72 hours in advance, and store your firearm according to the strictest requirements of any state on your route. For the new accessory restrictions, you need to immediately inventory every firearm you own and remove any potentially prohibited accessories. This includes checking all triggers, braces, and magazine attachments. If you find something potentially prohibited, do not attempt to surrender it without legal counsel. Finally, for the storage requirements, you need to upgrade your storage solutions immediately. Basic trigger locks no longer cut it under federal law. You need either a gun safe that meets the new ratings or updated cable locks. And you need to control access to keys and combinations with much more care than before. Let me be crystal clear about something. These laws are being enforced right now. There's no grace period. Officers and agents are already making arrests, and courts are already processing cases. I can't stress this enough. Laws around firearms change constantly, and staying informed is your best protection. I spend hours every week monitoring legislative changes, court decisions, and agency rules so I can keep you updated. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. It's the easiest way to make sure you never miss a critical update that could affect your freedom. To wrap this up, let me give you the 3 most important takeaways from today's video. First, never cross state lines with a firearm without researching every state's laws and filing the new declaration form. Second, remove and legally dispose of any accessories that might fall under the new prohibited categories. And third, upgrade your storage solutions immediately to meet the new federal standards. Your right to own firearms comes with responsibilities, and unfortunately, those responsibilities keep getting more complicated. But with the right information and proper preparation, you can still exercise your rights while staying on the right side of the law. Hit that subscribe button right now if you want to stay informed about gun laws that could affect you and your family. Smash the like button if this information helped you understand these new regulations. And drop a comment below telling me which of these 3 changes concerns you most. I read every comment and use them to plan future videos. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay legal, stay safe, and stay armed.